Welcome to the Officer Autumn Show podcast, the realest and most upfront podcast designed specifically for female first responders. I'm your host, Autumn Clifford, and I hope you enjoy this podcast.
So we're going to talk about using other people, using other things to fill the voids in ourselves. Look, we are constantly trying to make ourselves whole as human beings, okay? And I know you may feel like this isn't effective and you may feel like this conversation doesn't apply to you, but I'm going to tell you something. It applies to all of us as human beings, okay? And I want you to just take a moment before you go ahead and shut this off. I want you to really think about this. Where are you in your life using other people to fill your voids, using the job, using what you perceive to be the most amazing job in the world to fill you up? The long and the short and the absolute truth is a lot of cops, they use this job to fill their voids, to fill up the missing pieces of them. It's the truth. It's the truth. I was bullied when I was a child, and I still get bullied, on the internet and stuff. And while to me, the job wasn't going to be the end all be all, I got into the job, because I was in the martial arts. I already had a 2nd degree black belt. My uncle was a cop. My sensei was a cop. I always really wanted to be one, but then I never thought that I could actually be one. And then I just always wanted to be a role model. I wanted to help people because I felt like a lot of people weren't there to help me, and I wanted to be that person on people's, bad days. I wanted to be there for them. And I'm telling you all of this because, yeah, of course it filled up some void for me. And I'm asking, but here's what I didn't do back then that I'm asking you to do now. I'm asking you now to figure out what that void is, because what happens is that we continue to try to fill these voids. We continue to try to make people, make jobs, make situations fill the holes in our hearts, because we aren't ready. We aren't able to fill those fucking holes. And so we try to make other people do it. And when we try to make other people do it, that's what causes us to have these shitty fucking relationships. It's what causes us to have failed relationships, because it's like you're trying so hard to be whole, right? You're trying so hard to feel good, but you're expecting the other person in your life to feel really good, make you feel really good. I'm sorry. You're expecting them to make you feel really good. And in the beginning they do, but then, at some point they just stop, because it's not their job. It's not their job to fill your fucking voids. And it's the same thing with your job. It's the same thing with everything. I was just coaching a client, actually, and I just got off the phone with her, and that's why I'm here. She was talking about this with me, and she's just like, Autumn, like everything I do, I just don't fucking get it. I never feel whole. I don't feel whole, and I feel empty. I just feel empty. I meet a man and they're cool for a while, and then fuck it. He's not right. I work a job for a while and it's cool, and then all of a sudden it's just, I'm not fulfilled. Well, what's not fulfilled is not anything else around her. It's not that the men are bad, and it's not that the jobs are bad, and she's talking about her location and where she lives, and it's not any of that. None of that is actually bad. It's just all misaligned for her. And the reason it's misaligned is because she doesn't have she's not fulfilling her own shit. If you look around, you can look, and it's easier to look at other people than to look at ourselves. So I'm just going to ask you to do this. Take a look around and figure, who are the people around you? Who are the people around you? Okay. That are filling their voids with people, filling their voids with an addiction. I can tell you, for me, I eat. When I'm trying to fill a void, it's like standby. Not only am I eating one grilled cheese, I'm eating fucking two. And not only am I eating fucking 5 Oreos, I'm eating the whole motherfucking sleeve. And not only am I eating a fucking bag of Lay's sour cream and onion chips, which happen to be my favorite, I'm eating fucking at least half the bag, if not the whole fucking bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just eat and eat and eat to fill our fucking voids. Well, that's me. And some of us, like, you know, I've met a lot of police officers, honestly, online who've DM'd me, and not a lot, but I would say several who have admitted to being addicted to sex as an outlet. And that has caused, like, infidelity in their relationship because what they're trying to fill is a fucking void. That's what they're trying to fill. It actually has nothing to do with anybody other than themselves. Obviously, their partner is going to get hurt in the meantime, right? Because the person is like, wait, like, why would you do this to me? And the person in the relationship that is having the affair is like, trying to fill a void is actually what they're trying to do, but they don't know how to just speak that and face that. We're trying to fill voids. We're trying to fill themselves up. And the way that we fill ourselves up, right? So just let me just say this again. So it can come in the form of being addicted to shit, addicted to even addicted to like the whole like working out stuff. And there's nothing wrong. Like, listen, I'm just going to tell you this. I'm not making you wrong. I'm not making anybody else wrong for these addictions. I'm just sharing with you that like you're just trying to fill a void, and it's fine. Going and being addicted to the gym is probably one of the more healthier addictions that you could have, right? To an extent. But at the end of the day, you're still trying to fill a void. You're still don't feel good enough. And I'm going to go on another tangent and tell you, I know a lot of fucking fitness people, and it's why I went the other way. It's why I just wouldn't even get addicted to this, because it turns me off, because I can see in them, which I just got done telling you, it's easier for us to see it without, like, outside of ourselves. Although I want you to know, I use the accountability mirror. That's a term from David Goggins, but I do use it. I've got to give credit where credit's due, though. I do look in the fucking mirror all the time. That is my job as a mindset coach. I could not coach you. I could not coach my clients if I did not look in the motherfucking mirror and do this work, and never, ever take advice from anybody who's not actually doing the work that they're telling you to do, in my opinion. So you always want to listen to people who actually walk their talk, right? Or who can be like, yeah, here's what I did. Don't do what I did, and let me tell you why. Do this. You know what I mean? And just stay real humble about it. So I get really turned off because I can look at the people who are addicted to like the gym and their bodies. Because I can look at them and go, fuck, like some of them who are whole and they do it because they love themselves. It's an act of fucking love. A lot more people are doing it because they're trying to fill up a void, but they won't actually do the work to fill the void. And the work is to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself the tough questions. What the fuck is this gaping hole in my heart? What is this gaping hole in my fucking gut? Because it's in your heart, but it's your gut that is fucking gonna feel it, right? It's that emptiness. You just have this emptiness in your chest, in your heart, in your mind, and you feel fucking empty, and you just feel so inadequate and less than, and it's like you can never get filled up enough. Receiving the most compliments, being the skinniest, being the most jacked, being in the best shape of your life, getting the promotion, your spouse like loving on you and kissing you and just making of you, it's not ever going to be enough. You're always going to seek outside validation until you look in the mirror and you address this. And the reason I know like a lot of people do this with the gym is because they've become my clients or they've been my friends, and they talk to me about it. It's like, yeah, they're doing this thing because they don't feel good enough. And that's it. They literally feel like shit about themselves. Body dysmorphia, right? I mean, it's these things, again, this is all my opinion. I don't know the science behind body dysmorphia. I can tell you that I've definitely fucking dealt with that in my life. But let's talk about the gaping fucking holes, okay? And the holes in your heart and in your spirit and who you are. Yeah, it's real. It's fucking real. And so the question becomes, right? So getting back to my client the advice I gave her and I'm going to give you is look in the hole. Look in that void. How do we do that? We ask ourselves, why do I feel empty? Why am I feeling this way? Because I don't feel good enough. Well, what do I not feel good enough for? I don't feel good enough to be loved. I don't feel good enough to be successful. I don't feel good enough for the dreams that I actually have. I feel like I could never achieve what I want to achieve. Well, why? Well, because I'm not good enough. Well, why? Because I don't come from that side of the road, railroad tracks or whatever. I'm not that kind of person. Okay, well, so what kind of person are you? It's these questions you have to ask yourself and you've got to answer them. And that's why I really talk about journaling. I think someday, very soon, I need to create a journal. Everyone wants me to write a book, but I got to tell you something. I think the more fucking effective thing would be for me to create you a journal, and so you can get inside of your head and create like long lasting fucking results, man. Like, I could tell you all about everything. I could tell you how to do things, but if you don't go do it, you're just doing yourself a big disservice here. And how does this translate to like you being on the job? Well, in every fucking way. Your promotions will never be good enough. The accolades will never be good enough. When somebody tears you down, it's going to fucking wreck you because you're not solid. You're not solid in who the fuck you are. You're not solid. And you're not solid enough because you have too many holes missing in your heart or in your spirit or in your head. Does that make sense? And when you're not solid, when we operate from not being solid and not coming from, a good spot mentally, nothing that we do is actually going to be fulfilling, and nothing that you do is going to be fully aligned with who the fuck you are, because you're not actually being the whole you. You're empty. You're coming from a half of you or a fourth of you, or like a you that looks like Swiss cheese. Like you have all those holes in like your heart and in your mind. So I know this was a really deep like self-reflection episode, but I just urge you, just like come back and re-listen and do the fucking work. Or when you're done listening to this, really fucking pause here. Really pause and ask yourself these questions. Like, where the fuck am I not full? Where am I not fulfilled? Where am I empty? I don't know. That's what I have for you. And comes right out of coaching a client. So if you need anything, you let me know, and I will see you next time.